As we know, the IELTS test has 3 parts. Part 1 consists of personal questions, for example, about your family, work, education, your hometown, and it's usually 4 to 5 minutes long. Part 2 consists of a short talk, otherwise known as a monologue, in which you are talking for 1 to 2 minutes, and the examiner will not be interrupting you. The examiner will allow you to speak uninterrupted. Part 3 consists of a discussion, which oftentimes is related to the topics in Part 1, and it lasts 4 to 5 minutes. All right, I want to take a moment to talk about the speaking band descriptors, which is the rubric or scoring guide that's used to determine your score on the IELTS speaking exam. One thing that is looked at is the lexical resource, whether you're using a wide range of vocabulary. So try to increase your vocabulary. Also, grammatical range and accuracy is important. So make sure that you minimize the number of grammatical errors that you have. Of course, it's not going to be perfect, but try to increase your knowledge of grammar and use the correct grammar. Pronunciation is also important. So make sure that you're pronouncing the words properly. And for correct pronunciation of words, you can go to www.dictionary.com to hear the proper pronunciation of a word if you're not sure. And this is, of course, when you're practicing. You cannot do that during the exam. But I recommend increasing your vocabulary and making sure that any words that you may use, that you have checked them in advance. Fluency and coherence is another area that the examiner is going to be looking at. So try to feel comfortable and speak fluently. Try to speak as you would if you're speaking your first language. And make sure that everything that you say is clear to the examiner. And of course, you should practice with a native speaker in advance. And I'm here for you to book a free trial, and there's no commitment. Just go to www.englishtrainingcenter.org to book a free trial. I'll also provide you with a link so that you can book directly. Make sure you speak without stuttering, and you can avoid stuttering by practicing. You can practice by talking to yourself. And I used to do that when I was learning Spanish. I would just walk around the house just speaking Spanish as if I was talking to another person. But of course, it's best to speak to a native speaker. And I am a native speaker, so once again, feel free to book that 30-minute free trial session. No obligation to continue further. Also, you can record yourself, and that's another thing that I used to do once again when I was learning Spanish, is I would record myself. And we all have smartphones these days. You can use a smartphone, or you can use the voice recorder on your laptop to record yourself. Look at the sample questions and practice answering them into the recorder. You can also avoid stuttering by talking at an even pace, not too fast nor too slow. Also, you want to talk with confidence. Tell yourself you are going to pass the IELTS exam. You are not only going to pass, you are going to ace the IELTS speaking exam. So feel confident. Make eye contact with the examiner. Smile. Be friendly. Make sure that you speak loudly and clearly. And of course, you don't want to speak too loudly, but make sure it's clear and not too low. I've had students when I was teaching IELTS speaking prep that would speak so lowly. Okay, that's going to affect your score because if the examiner can't hear you, then they cannot judge you accurately. Make sure you stay on the topic. Yes, they would like you to expand your answers, but your answers should be related to the topic. Make sure you give examples, one or two or more examples. And of course, you don't want to go on too long. You don't want to take up too much time with answering one question because there are other questions as well. So make sure you pace yourself as well. Use complete sentences, but don't repeat the question. Also use transition words, words like first, last, then, after that. And I want to point out a mistake that a lot of native Arabic speakers make. They have a tendency to say 2 years before. Okay, we normally say 2 years ago. Also, don't memorize phrases from the internet. All right, and I think that's all the tips that we have for today. Remember, ladies, you can book a free trial session by going to my website, www.englishtrainingcenter.org, or by clicking on the link that I'll be providing for you.